Hey, you caught me again. Look, I'm George. Welcome to Barley and Hops. I'm really glad you tuned in today. We've got a lot to share with you. And before we do that, I was standing right here just yesterday, and here's a photo of it with a good friend of mine, Randy from Ontario, Canada. Imagine that. He's a long-haul trucker. He's got his own business, and he's got to go down to Houston. So he looked us up on the map. He's been a customer, and we've talked. So he decided to stop by. So we had a cup of coffee, had a cup of Barley and Hops coffee yesterday, and just talked about Canada, talked about America. Oh, it was a great time. So Randy, we wish you all the best, and we wish you safe travels back to Canada. Look, we got the FastFerment, and today what I'm going to talk about is one of the items that came in an accessory. It's new, and I'm going to share that with you, and that is the insulated jacket. So the insulated jackets are here. We're ready to send them out the door. To show you this. This is what you order if you order the FastFerment. And the reason the FastFerment was first developed was not to make fermentation any faster, but what it was to eliminate some of the problematic challenges we had with transferring from one location to another. Because you remember we had to go from one bucket to another bucket, or a carboy to a carboy, or bucket to carboy, however you chose to do that. But the idea was to remove your beer, your wine, your whiskey, whatever, or your mash off of the yeast so you can get rid of that yeast. Well, the thought was, instead of removing that off of the yeast, why don't we remove the yeast from the bottom? That's why these were designed. Oh, they're awesome. Here's what they come with. And when you open them up, you're going to have the bag. Your bag is going to be filled with your valve, your lid, the user's manual. Please read the manual. The manual tells you to screw the lid on and off 10 times. If you don't do that, it won't seat the threads, and potentially it'll leak, and you won't get any bubble action in your airlock, and you'll be calling. So it comes with that. Of course, here the collection ball, the hose to transfer from the FastFerment into whatever vessel you're transferring into. Of course, your FastFermenter itself. That's 7.8 gallons of rigid plastic, is made very well. Be careful when cleaning the inside of this. It's great, 6-inch hole, you can get your arm in there. Make sure you use either just your hand, which is probably the best. It's the dexterity there, and it's nice and soft, it won't scratch, or use a soft sponge just to clean the inside of that with. And then, of course, you look at the bottom of the box and you'll think it's empty, but it's not. There's a false bottom in here. If you reach in, you'll pull it. There we go. And you've got the wall mounts that are located inside here. So please don't throw the box away until you check the entire box to make sure that it's empty. So it comes with the wall mount. If you want the floor mount, that comes with a small ring, a larger ring, 4 legs, and we can add that to it for like 22 bucks. It screws together, so it's real simple. You can make your own. Most brewers out there are really handy anyway, so if you just kind of measure around where you want that ring to be, get you a piece of plywood and cut a hole in it, put some legs on there. Just make sure you make it sturdy enough to withhold that 50-some pounds of volume that you're going to have in the FastFerment. Now, one additional thing, we always believe here at Barley and Hops that it's just one of my core beliefs. Look, if I order something and it shows up in my house when I open the box, by golly, I want to start playing with it. A lot of retailers will nickel dime me, and I believe that it should all be in the box when it shows up. So we always throw in, we add at no extra cost, we add the thermometer. And since it has a thermal well, and you got the ability to track the temperature, I mean, why not have a thermometer to do that with? So we throw that in there as well. So that's an added feature. And one other thing that we always add, and you've seen me use these on a number of videos when we fill bottles, gosh, is a bottling cane. It's spring loaded in the end. And what's really unique about this is that once you attach this to the end of the hose into your valve in the bottom of the FastFerment, it's a sealed system, so it doesn't leak and get all over the place like you may have had experiences in the past. If you stick this in the bottle and depress that valve, it'll fill the bottle from the bottom to the top, and then when you lift it up, it'll stop. You can lay the bottling cane down, you can put it, and it won't leak anywhere. So we add that in just as an extra value added. And if you're trying to do beer and you want a beer cane, because they are a little smaller in diameter than these, just all you gotta do is let us know. We'll switch it out, or we'll add an extra one in there for you. But I just think it's one of those things that you just got. If you got to have it, you got to have it. I'd rather you have it and not call me because you need it. So it's better to have and not need than need and not have. We throw it in there for you anyway. All right, well, let me get on to the next thing, and that's what we really came here for. I know I'm the long way around the mountain here just to get to the point, but this FastFerment thermal jacket, which is a phenomenal advancement in technology. It really is the next stage in maintaining and managing temperature inside our fast fermenters. So let me grab one and I'll be right with you. Now, I just happen to have one here. If you open up these zippers, you'll notice, first of all, they got a really nice logo on the outside, Fast Fermenter at fastbrewing.com. Your fast ferment sits right inside that. And here it is sitting inside its stand. And what's really good is this is universal. You can use it with the stand, or, and I'll show you in a moment, you can use it with the wall mount because it's adaptable. And they've thought of everything. Now, what happens is that you place your fast fermenter in there and you zip it up, and according to their instructions, you're going to use, they recommend you use the 2-liter plastic bottles and you freeze them. Use some salt water because salt water thaws a little bit slower, but you freeze them. And they've got a really neat instructions here. They maintain in a room temperature, it's 68 degrees room temperature. They maintained a 16-degree temperature drop for a period of about 14 days by just rotating the 2-liter ice bottle in the fast ferment about every 24 to 36 hours. So that means that they maintained the fast ferment temperature inside a room that was 68 degrees. They maintained it at 53 degrees. Now, that's a whole lot colder than a lot of folks are looking for. If you're going to make a lager beer, it's a great temperature for lagering beer. But if you've got that warm area in your garage and you know it's going to be warm, instead of trying to control the temperature of the room now, we can control the temperature or the environment surrounding our fast fermenter. Just switch the bottles out. So, what's really unique though is if you look at the top of this, it has these small flaps that open up, and what's underneath that flap is a small hole, and that small hole, you line that up with your airlock, insert the airlock, it goes right into your fast fermenter, there, and then you can zipper up, there, get in there, and then you can zipper up the fast fermenter. I didn't quite get that in there. Oh, there it is, yeah, it moved on me. There. So then you can zipper up the fast fermenter and it can continue to vent while at the same time maintaining that temperature. And also on the side, there's a flap. If you open this flap, you're able to get inside there and see that thermometer that we include in the box. So you got a thermometer, you can track the temperature, or you can always unzip it and do it that way. Now let me show you one other adaptation to this because it is really, really neat. This is your fast fermenter that's mounted on a wall mount. And it's got the thermal blanket that's all the way around it. And I've already got the airlock. Let me remove the airlock and close that. You'll see here that there are 2 slots on the back of the bag. And on those 2 slots, you've got these 2 flaps. And they're Velcroed on there. So when you're using this for the stand that we just showed you, these 2 flaps would be on there. When you want to put it on your wall mount, you remove these 2 flaps. And it slides right onto the brackets of your wall mount. Now, here's the interesting part. The best part about it is, see, they thought of everything. They've included 2 extras that are in the bag. And the bag comes with the strings and the grommets so that you can hang your water bottles off of the bracket, off the side, so it doesn't have to pull down on the bottom. So you got your 2 extras in the bag. So, because what happens is the way you do this is when you put the bracket on the wall, you mount this against the wall, place the bracket on it, screw that to the wall, and then every time that you put the jacket, the thermal jacket, over top of the brackets, it hooks directly to the wall around this Velcro, so it seals. And we know that every time you want to use this on your floor mount, if you so desire to have a floor mount as well, and you remove the bag off the wall, you don't have to take the brackets down to get these. That's why they put 2 extras inside the bag, so you can just cover those 2 slots up. I mean, it's fascinating. So we zipper this up, and again, you're only using a 2-liter bottle of ice water, or water that's frozen. So it's a block of 2 liters of ice. It takes about 2 days to freeze that, but it'll last for an extremely long time. And like I said, with their test, they ran like 14 days, and they were able to maintain that temperature drop, which is a severe temperature drop. So if you've got that warm room that you're just having a challenge keeping your fast fermenter or whatever you're fermenting at the proper temperature, and you can adjust that. You could put 2 bottles in. You could put a smaller bottle in. If you can adjust the temperature to where you want. Now, here is the best part about it. This thermal blanket doesn't care if it's cold or if it's hot. You put something hot, it'll keep it hot. You put something cold, it'll keep it cold. It's amazing, it thinks. So in the wintertime, when it's really cold in those rooms, instead of raising the temperature of the whole room so that you can warm your fast fermenter, you could just put your heater blanket in here. And you've got access on the side to run the power cord out. So you've got the best of all worlds. You can control it cool temperature in the summertime, you can control a warmer temperature in the wintertime so that you can maintain that perfect fermentation temperature inside your fermenter, regardless of the environment or the season. See? Look, hey, thanks for checking in with us again. Like us on Facebook, and we really, really appreciate the positive comments and the compliments that you send in. We're here to serve you. And remember, brewing should be economical, should be safe, and it should make you happy. So please, in all your endeavors, be safe, keep it economical, and be happy. Thank you.